Hello, everybody. This is D.A. Williams, and I'm just bringing you another installment of Just Thinking. We've been talking about over the past couple of installments of the video cast on the idea that if you can change your thoughts, you can change your life. And I know that sounds very simple, and the reality of the matter is, it is really simple. Yesterday we talked about how you can develop different techniques, how you can embrace different practices, different disciplines that will enable you to be more in control of those things that you begin to form as beliefs. Because after all, our behaviors are really physical manifestations of the things that we believe. This is why the concept is true. If you can change your thoughts, you can change your life. You can change your life if you can change your thoughts. What I want to do for just a few moments is I want to lay a foundation on this idea of building a more robust belief system. Building a more robust belief system. You know, many of you all know that my undergraduate degree is in communication. My graduate degree is a Master of Divinity that deals with exploring different religious views, different spiritual concepts and ideas. And I found a common denominator within belief systems, within faith systems. That common belief, that common factor in all of these systems have to do with how a person believes. How a person's view of the world, known as their worldview, impacts their behavior as a human being. The NLP model of communication that I personally have embraced is not a religious system. It's not a faith system as such. It's rather looking at modeling effective communicators and embracing many of the presuppositions that they embrace that enable them to achieve the success that they achieve in life. And a lot of it has to do with their belief system. Now, what I want to talk about today briefly is how do we make meaning? How do we form beliefs? Now, in the NLP model of communication, it holds that if we experience an external event, any event that we encounter in life that's external to us goes through a process which produces a behavior. So the model goes something like this. We have an external event occur in our lives. We engage the world. That information then comes in through one of our five senses: visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, gustatory. That is what we see, what we hear, what we feel, what we smell, and what we taste. These are our five senses. All information that we take in from the world comes in through one of those five senses. Now, what's interesting is that many neuroscientists, linguists, people who actually have committed their lives to studying and understanding human behavior share with us that we as individuals are actually encountering around 2 million bits of information per second. That's a lot of information, 2 million bits per second. However, our conscious mind is only capable of handling 7 plus or minus 2 chunks of information per second. So what that means is around 134 bits of information out of the 2 million bits of information actually finds its way through our conscious mind. And it's a good thing that that's the case. If we were to try to make sense and understand all of the information that is available at any given time, I'm not sure how effective we would be at going through a day-to-day experience. Now, we have filters on the inside. Those filters range from memory. It ranges from attitude, beliefs, desires, certain meta programs that are running in our lives, values. All of these things is filtering that 2 million bits of information, which enable us to focus on 7 plus or minus 2 chunks of information at any given time. Out of that information, the process goes that we are deleting information, we're generalizing information, and we're distorting information in order to make sense of the information that we're receiving. So let me say that again. Out of the 2 million bits of information, we're deleting, we're distorting, and we're generalizing that information down to 7 plus or minus 2 chunks of information at any given time. That information then creates an internal representation within us. So we're getting this information, we process the information, we build an internal representation of that, out of that information, which in turn creates a state. So a state could be anywhere from being unhappy to being joyous to being motivated to being discouraged, because it impacts our physiology. Out of that becomes our behavior. Now, hopefully that's not too much information, and hopefully I'm communicating that information to you effectively. So we're getting this information, our beliefs, our values, meta programs, memories, all of these things come into play with what we're doing with this 2 million bits of information in order to break it down to something that our conscious mind can actually process. Now, these values, attitudes, judgments, all of these things are actually residing within our unconscious mind, our subconscious mind, which is why there's a lot of things that we can do, as we would say, without even thinking about it. One of the common ways that I like to share about this is you think about driving. Think about leaving home, going to work in the morning, arriving at work, and really not being conscious of the drive that you made. That's because, to a large degree, the subconscious or the unconscious mind has taken over the driving experience, which allows us to actually focus on that other information, other cars, traffic, stop signs, all of these things that we need to pay attention to in order to arrive at our destination safely. That's really, in a nutshell, the foundation of what we're going to be looking at. How do these internal processes impact our communication with ourselves, our communication with others, our communications in business? How do these things form meaning out of which we experience our lives? Well, I just wanted to share just that tidbit of information, and we're going to come back tomorrow and we're going to begin to unpack this a little bit more. We'll go back over the NLP communication model over and over and over, but tomorrow I want to begin to look at how do we and what do we mean by deleting, generalizing, and distorting information. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? That's yet to be determined, but what we do know, it is a necessary thing that we do. Hope you enjoyed this. Think about it. Go back and listen to it. Share it with somebody. I'll talk with you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.